Advanced Tobruk System ATS, Pork Chop Hill, Korea, 1953. Action. Okay, see it played. This small action has a platoon-sized Chinese Communist force here, infantry with some medium machine guns, advancing along this low ground and this road. They've come in contact with an American platoon-sized force up here with some machine guns. I know I put these markers here at the end of the last play session to remind me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave them there. These control markers are to remind me that those Chinese Communist forces using the command control rules, they will not be moving faster than, I think, crawl route or crawl rate without passing a morale check. I'll review that when I get to that, do a quick review of that. I remember these forces here are slowly making their way up the stream bed, or in rules terms, moving along the linear depression. This is the Chinese Communist support by fire position, and I do remember that I was pleased with the random casualty selection rule. All right, so just going to start at the top of a turn here. I don't think there's anything to do in the indirect fire. The indirect fire segment, but I'll do a quick review of that. So again, just a quick review of the indirect fire segment. You would roll for initiative. Then players alternately use impulses in the following order. So I do believe that both players go through steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this order, and within each step, players alternate doing actions according to the initiative roll. So we have onboard guns fire smoke, mortars and personnel place flares, aircraft attacks, off-map indirect fire, onboard spotted indirect fire, and counter battery fire. Yeah, finish all fire of each step before beginning the next one. Place an F marker. On units that fire unless hidden or off map. Okay, so we'll move on to the fire and movement segment. So low roll wins initiative. The Americans rolled an 8. Chinese Communists rolled a 6. So Chinese will go first. And I think the general idea that makes sense is to have the support by fire position fire again first, and then have the other two forces make their way along the linear depression there. Yeah, I'm looking at the forward here. I think I remember before wondering why the forward is treated if the units are following the linear depression of the creek. But I think what I decided last time is to go ahead and play with what I think our rules as written, which is, I think, 2 plus cost of terrain, something like that. In any case, they would be subject to command control rule, so we'll see about that. But first, the support of fire position. Command control only affects movement. I don't think it has anything to do with fire. So I'll go ahead and pull this reminder chit off there. So I think that both crews were reduced. Yeah, both crews are reduced. Now before they fire, I should probably consider again what targets they have. if I remember correctly, they're just fine seeing this target, but can they see this force, and this force? Probably not this one, because I do think that clips the... It does clip the terrains here, so... Well, that must block it. I mean, these are the same height here. The medium machine gun here and Oscar 4 here. They're the same... Yeah, they're the same height. So... It must... Or do you go with... Do you go with the number of blind hexes created beyond? Well, going from here down to here, which is actually only down one level. No, they're not higher than... Okay. Yeah. I don't think anything's going on here, but I suppose I should do a quick check of that. In any case, I think they want to reacquaint... There's a light machine gun there. So we have a lieutenant and a light machine gun here. And a squad. And this is the one that I think we had a lot of action happen to last time. So we have an NCO and a bar gunner in good shape. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The jammed gun. So that light machine gun's actually jammed. And squad firing the weapon have taken serious casualties. Okay. In that case, certainly an option to fire at that one because of the light machine gun. Yeah, see, they don't have a machine gun over here. This is just a bar gunner and a squad there. So, okay, I guess it does make sense to fire here. Again, I remember they're in the, was that the burnt tree stumps? What, blasted tree stumps? Blasted tree stumps. Okay. Yeah. We'll see what they can, see what effects they can get on that force there. So I went ahead and had the medium machine guns do massive fire attack, both rates of fire altogether for a total of 22 gunfire factors. I would go so far as to say that I think, well, either I missed it or this is an oversight. I don't understand why the blasted tree stumps don't provide any cover whatsoever. But I don't find it in the Pork Chop Hill rules. So I didn't apply any cover here. They rolled a 10. Well, first of all, the 7 is not a double, so there's no jamming. Oh, wait, I have to roll. Okay, so I rolled for the second medium machine gun. It's a 1, it's not a double, so no jamming. And a 10 is a complete miss on the 20 column. I marked the, so I marked the machine guns now. Now, 22, was that 10? So is it 10? So, surprised I don't remember this. Is it 10 collateral fire marked on there or not? Okay, I do believe that rolling on the casualties table, it doesn't matter if you get a no effect result. I think you still place collateral fire. So I did that. That is the Chinese impulse. So we go to the American impulse. Well, that's interesting. Well, I guess they would return fire. But the American light machine gun, the 1919, is only has a range of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that's 9 hexes away, so that's long range. So it's halved to 2.5. Oh, but we can add the long range of the squad as well. So the squad starts with 6 gunfire factors, -1 for the machine gun. 2.5, 2.5, so it's 5. It's 5 with an officer, and the Chinese have the strewn rock terrain. So the Americans got lucky. I think they might have wiped out that entire support by fire position. So they have 5 gunfire factors, so it's resolved on the 4 column. It's right 2 for the officer to the 8 column, -1 for the strewn rock. Yeah. So final column is 6. Yes. So they rolled a 2. This is actually the casualty roll. They rolled a 2 first. The 4 is not a double, so the light machine gun does not jam. So then that result is a C2. So then I roll here for casualties, random determination. So I go red, white. So top, add the, well actually it just doesn't matter because, well, it's going to be the first unit, but it doesn't matter because these are 2 reduced squads. So the first casualty takes out the first crew, the second casualty takes out the second crew. So they're done. Now this is interesting because I know, well, I think I remember how this was handled in the more simple version. So we have 2 machine guns left. What happens to them in the full rules, in the full ATS rules? I guess the Americans, I'm going to check on the machine guns, but oh, I don't know if I finished my thought. I think I remember what happens to the machine guns in the more basic ATS rules, but I don't remember what happens to machine guns in the full ATS rules. So the Americans would still have the collateral fire marker, and they did they? Now I'm trying to, well, it doesn't matter, but I'm trying to remember how many rate of fire. I think I did only 1 rate of fire actually, so I'll leave 1 more rate of fire for the light machine gun available. So I'll mark them like that with a 1 fired marker. Now I'll figure out the fate of those machine guns. Okay, this is fairly huge. While looking for the fate of the machine guns, I discovered that I need to pay attention. The rates of fire of heavy and medium weapons are reduced by 1 if manned by a reduced crew. So these machine guns, before the crews were eliminated, now they were reduced, and I should not have been firing them at rate of fire 2. They should have been limited to 1. That's just something I've got to remember. A non-small arms attack that eliminates a personnel unit also eliminates any light or medium weapons the unit was carrying. But this was a small arms attack, so I guess it does not destroy the medium weapons. So I guess the machine guns are left there to be picked up. Okay, I will go with that for now. So leave both medium machine guns in the hex there. Now we go to the Chinese. Also, when I was reviewing the command control rules, once these soldiers get adjacent, they come under command control of the adjacent leader. So once they move here and they're adjacent to the officer, they're good for command control purposes. So I'll just go ahead and do that. They're going to do crawling movement, 1 hex, like that. It's crawling movement, so the movement arrow goes on top. like that. Now I don't think that the Americans see any, oh, and this is actually okay, so they're gonna, this would be, what kind of movement would this be? This would be, oh, well they, man, it's rock strewn, so, yeah, they're gonna crawl like that. Okay, let me check on a few things and we might wrap up this turn. Okay, it's the close assault segment. Americans are going to stay put, but just for completeness sake, you roll for initiative. The Americans win the initiative, but they're not going to do anything, not going to do anything in the infiltration phase. But the Chinese are going to infiltrate. So they infiltrate 1 hex and 1 hex. Yeah. No melee. And then we go to the end of turn segment. We're going to remove melee overrun and ceasefire markers, remove movement arrows. Like that. And flares, 2 smoke, and F markers. Oh, when do the collateral fire markers come off? Collateral fire markers come off. Oh, at the end of the fire and movement segment. Step C, remove all collateral fire and pin down markers. Okay. So that was supposed to come off. So importantly, that does come off at the end of the fire and movement segment, which means that, oh, of course, it doesn't have anything to do with infiltration or melee. Okay. Then we go to check for intimidation, movement arrows and vehicles, smoke, FFE, flames, fog of war, blah, blah, blah. Unjam weapons. Okay, so the Americans, I think they need a 1 to unjam their weapon. They roll a 5. So that light machine gun there does not unjam. And then rally actions. Do we have rally actions? I don't think so. No. No rally actions, surrender, suppressed markers, Maddox frostbite. Okay, end of the turn.